I muted myself there. Hello, welcome back, everybody, to Wednesday Night Horse Center. I am at Julie Ramjeet. I'm back. Thanks, Rich, for jumping on for me last minute. And I'm with my co-host at Swiss Army Sean, and the wonderful Trevor McCarthy joins us. There we go. Let's get him, not me. Hi, Trevor. How are you tonight?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So you've been on the show several times, so we won't waste the fans' times with the usual questions. But you just came back from an injury, and you found your way to the inner circle quite quickly. So tell us a little bit about that. Let people know kind of what happened, how long you were out, and your comeback.
Yeah, I was out November the 18th. I took a spill at Aqueduct on the turf, and I was out for about 3.5 months with a broken collarbone and a broken pelvis. And healing was a little bit slow for my collarbone, so it took a little bit more time than usual. But everything healed really well, and we came back 100%. So that was really important. And it was great timing. I mean, we started off riding on Friday just in time for a Gotham weekend. And we were able to have a really nice Busher mount and a Gotham mount. And not so much luck in the Busher, but I had some really good luck in the Gotham with a great second. And started off my first race back. Actually ended up as a winner, which was super cool.
Super cool, yeah.
Yeah, not the way I wanted to win, but I guess
hey, a win's a win, right?
Yeah, we'll take a disqualification. So
yeah, win's definitely a win. So that's wonderful. So with this injury, and I'm not too sure, I've seen you speak on some of the stem cell stuff that you've had done. Was that for this injury?
Yeah, so actually the stem cell, it was really a great experience. I went down to Costa Rica just I think in the beginning of January or end of January, middle of January. And that was great. I worked with an institute called RMI Institute. I went down to Costa Rica. They're in San Jose, just about 25 minutes from the airport. And really, really first-class place. They pick you up from the airport. They put you in a hotel. They take you around to their clinic, back and forth with shuttles and stuff like that. Take you back to the airport, whatever you need. They're just a call away, and they really treat you with first class. And that's something that really changed my body. I before I got hurt, I was really burnt out. Was going through some mental health stuff that we'll get into a little bit later in the interview. But, it was just for me, I'm super hard on my body. So it was almost like a recharge. I was able to kind of take the time off, because of an injury, to have some resting time. But at the same time, I thought this would boost my energy, boost my healing, and just kind of recharge my batteries really before going back to riding. And without RMI, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And really, they just do such an amazing job. And they just have so much knowledge on stem cell therapy than we do here in the United States.
And I'm sure this wasn't your first injury. So compared to healing, right? Did you see a difference in the way your body felt? Oops.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, healing was a little slow at first for my collarbone. And when I got that news, I was already headed down a couple of days later to Costa Rica. And so there was still a chance at the time to have to get surgery. And once I received those stem cells, it definitely made things boost, which was great. And when I went back 3 weeks later, everything was healed solid. So
wow.
I was able to it was really a kind of up in the air thing every time I went to the doctors to see if I was going to have to go back for surgery or not and start all over again. And that was just huge.
Sean, welcome. I know Trevor's a friend of yours. How are you?
Absolutely. Right? Trevor's one of those guys, one of the first jockeys that I really got to talk to, and like the most, nobody has a bad word to say about Trevor. That's what's great about Trevor, and he's always there. also your attitude is great. And I want to say something about the injury. You know, you right away, I know it wasn't what you wanted, but right away you were like, you know what, this gives me family time, and it gives you that break that you were talking about. So I could relate to that because when COVID happened, everybody says how bad COVID is. I'll say it wasn't bad because I got to spend, Blake was 2 at that time. I got to spend months with Blake and not have to work. So talk about that a little bit and being home with Riley and Katie and taking that break.
Yeah, you know, I just think at that time, mentally, I wasn't in a good place. So it was almost like, because for us, we don't get much downtime, you know, we don't have time to really slow down. It's not like baseball player or a hockey player or football player where we get downtime. And for us, we're just on the go 24/7, 365 days out of the year. And, you know, it's almost like I was hoping to get hurt a little bit because I was just so burnt out. I was just so tired, and I was really missing my family. And the only time that you can really take um, some time to really cherish that time is when we're out on injury. You know, not it's not something that you want to look forward to, but it's kind of sometimes like, hey, man, it wouldn't be a bad thing. You know, like that's the only time we really get to really have time off. And right now I'm missing everybody. You know, I'm not in a good place mentally, and I kind of need this, you know, and God kind of, you know, really answered the question for me and kind of made my decision that I did need the time off, you know, and I did need to spend time with my family. And it was perfect timing, you know, because it was right before Thanksgiving, and we had Riley's, I think it was like 4 days after my accident, my family was coming early because Riley's baptism was on then, and so I was able to spend time with that and be around family for my daughter's baptism, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas and New Year's, and Katie's birthday was January 16th. So Riley's birthday was January 20 or December 20th. So it was really a special time that I was able to cherish with my family.
Yeah, and talk about, you know, it's funny. We actually talked about this the other week when Katie was on, how we phrase the questions different when we have a mother on instead of a father on, and it shouldn't be that way. It's just a natural thing. So talk about that a little bit, your new routine with Riley, and, you know, how much she grew in those 3 months you were out.
Yeah, my new routine was great. You know, for the first month, I couldn't do much. You know, I needed some help to watch her and things like that. After that, I mean, really, I was able to get the hang of things and really just spend my whole morning with her because Katie was out working in the morning, and I was able to cherish that time and really, you know, wake up, make her breakfast, change her, you know, get her ready for the day, and, you know, watch some cartoons with her and just kind of relax in the morning. And then, you know, in the afternoon, do some things with her and, you know, maybe go outside and play around or go for a walk, and, you know, just kind of do some different things to spend that quality time with them, you know, and cherish that dad moment. And, you know, just every day they just grow, and it's amazing. And to me, it just, you know, over the summer, I was riding 7 days a week. So I didn't get to spend much time with her between riding at Saratoga and Colonial. And I was really missing that. And, you know, it just broke my heart, you know, knowing now that I missed all that, you know, and I wasn't able to spend that quality time with her and see her develop each and every day.
Yeah, and as you got hurt, Katie's career started picking up too, so it's kind of a role reversal.
Yeah, and that's funny too. You know, everybody, you know, goes through struggles, right? And they all say, "Oh, well, you know, your job's easy. You're a mom," or, you know, your job's easy. Go ride horses all day. You know, so it was like flip flop. Now it's like, oh, okay, I get why you're tired at the end of the day. You know, and same with her, vice versa. Oh, I rode 5-6 today. You know, I worked a bunch in the morning. You know, I get why you're wearing out too. You know, so it was kind of a good eye opener for both of us.
Yeah, they always say, and it's so true, when you do something like that, it's always better on the other side. Everything sounds great when you're not doing it, but when you're doing it, you live the real thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Julie's internet cut out. She's trying to get back on. Do you want to go into the mental health thing a little bit? Obviously, we've Two jockeys now in the last couple months. It's been a big thing. You said, when you were out with an injury, you weren't in a good spot. We do need to vocalize it more, and I'm glad you're open to talk about it. So you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's something that we really need to address. And I know we've talked last week, and we were kind of saying, that, you guys have actually a mental health show every month, correct?
Yeah, we just started it last month, and we want to do it every month. So, actually, it's funny because Tom Foley, who does your insurance, said, everybody will do a health show right now. But what's going to happen in a couple months, they'll forget about it. And that's why I wanted to start it, and let's do this every month. First off, I think it's important for guys like you to come on here and say it's okay and talk about exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? People need to know that.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of guys are a bit shy to come on and admit, whether they went through something. And, because anybody, can sit here and say, oh, well, that guy's weak, or, oh, maybe they're scared that they're going to lose some business or anything like that. But I think now, losing these two jocks that we've lost in the last 6 weeks, it's just an eye opener that somebody needs to, kind of come out and say, hey, they're not the only one, And, for me, I dealt with a lot, and I deal with a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of ups and downs in the game. And I think I've dealt with a lot of things over the last 10 years. And really it's not an easy thing. And it just kind of started out for me more in the summertime at Saratoga, where it was just, it was such a tough meet, and mentally I might have not been ready for it, and looking back, it was a good experience because now I kind of know for next year how it's going to be. But it's a super tough meet. You lose a lot of confidence. There's a lot of riders. It's like every Hall of Fame, every future Hall of Fame jockey's there. Every super established jockey's there. And, you went from, being second leading rider at Aqueduct to doing well at Belmont and to kind of just falling off the ladder a bit. And I think a lot of guys don't know how to handle that. And it's very hard to handle that, right? I mean, for one thing, you're on top of the world at one meet, and the next meet, maybe some guy can't even buy him out, or all of a sudden, they've won a grade one, and then the next month, they can't buy him out, or they get hurt, or things like that. And for me, it was it was so much of a struggle to, with Saratoga that, mentally it took a toll on me and my confidence. And now I'm trying to make up for it, right? I'm working super hard. I'm out there every day, 5 days a week, riding at Saratoga, now getting on a plane the next morning at 3:30 in the morning, getting to the airport in Albany to go ride at Colonial so I can make the Colonial card and ride there for 2 days to make some money. And then be back and get in at 1:00 in the morning and have to get back up Wednesday morning for workers at Saratoga, and then ride Wednesday at Saratoga, and it's now I had no time. That was 8 weeks, I didn't spend any time with my family, and I think the last few weeks of Colonial, I actually took off. I just couldn't do it anymore. And, my wife wasn't happy. My daughter wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. And, for me, it set me, it made me have a bad attitude. My attitude was shit, and I was sour, and I was tired. And now I kind of came back here and at Aqueduct, and just, I did okay. I did good. I held my own, but I lost that confidence, and now I kind of was just like, I'm like tired, burnt out, and now I'm arguing with Katie and, the baby, and it's trying to keep that happy medium, keep everybody happy. And I think the best thing for me was when I came back from Saratoga, Katie said to me, you really need to reach out and get some professional help. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, like, yeah, I don't want to be this husband. I don't want to be this father, and I want to spend time with my family, and I want it to be a happy time, and So I actually reached out and I did a lot of investigating, and I found a sports therapist, and the guy's never talked to a jockey before. He's dealt with plenty of other athletes, but never jockeys. And look, I think it was a great thing. I definitely learned some things that taught me just how to handle my emotions.
And is that something you're still actively doing? Talking to us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've kind of got into actually something that has been beneficial physically and mentally. And I never thought that it would be such improvement, but I got into doing cold water immersions, ice baths. And
Shocking the central nervous system.
yeah, I mean, and look, I did meditations, I did all that. I've done kind of walks and breathing exercises, and they've worked. But at the same time, I'm a very high strung guy. I have ADHD. My mind's going a mile a minute. So for me to sit there and meditate, it's super hard to do. So now when you're sitting in ice cold water that's 40 degrees, and you're sitting in there for 3-4 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, mentally you have to block out how cold it is, right? You don't have a choice but to not think about it.
Right.
And if anything has made you mentally stronger, if you can sit in an ice tub,
you can conquer
for
the day.
5 minutes, you can deal with anything.
And I think I don't want to cut you off, but I want to note on the fact that you said you're still actively in therapy. And I think that's very important to speak on, because it's important to stay, therapy, talk therapy, or having some type of outlet to keep using that even through your high or normal points, not just when you hit those lows, right? Because then that's going to keep you kind of more steady, more prepared for that next low, because it's only a matter of time, especially in this business, let alone life. It's just up and down. I do want to get to some comments really quick because you have a lot coming in. We have one from Ed. Glad to see you back in the winner's circle.
Thanks,
we have Bob. Trevor, my favorite. You were tons the best on Slip. Mahoney wins with a better start.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Well, we have Anthony Diella. Good evening and greetings. Another awesome guest. Trevor, great to see you back and winning. Stay healthy and continued success.
Thanks, Anthony.
And then Grandma Horse Racing. I love his raw honesty. Yes. And I mean, I appreciate, I got kicked out there. My internet connection dropped. So I jumped back in the midst of you talking about, I think what was starting to talk about maybe your mental health struggle. And Andre, my husband, one of the best.
Thanks, Andre.
But I appreciate that. I struggle too. And I think that it's something that we as a community can really come together more as, instead of, it's everybody feels alone, but we're such a tight knit community. I mean, it doesn't matter how far out you are. Race trackers are race trackers, right? We all kind of know each other. So I think it's really important guys like you can stand up and say, hey, it's okay not to be okay. You're still one of the top successful riders. You're still out there doing things, but people need to hear that you're also a human. These guys that we have lost recently or that have struggled in the sport or just in general, I think I know what it's like to feel like you can't talk because they won't understand, right? So I think you being able to come out and say, hey, I struggled, I'm in therapy, I found this ring, that's amazing. So kudos though, because it's hard to speak on, to say, hey, I struggle. So that's worth an applause, because not so many people are that brave. So I appreciate the honesty.
It needs to be addressed. And I think a lot of people go through it, because a lot of guys are going through the same thing and dealing with the same situations that I am, right? So we're dealing with ups and downs in the business. We're dealing with, everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to be successful. Nobody wants to just be average. And everybody's working really hard. And, when you're working hard and you're struggling, and then now you're struggling with weight or discipline with weight and reducing really hard. And, some guys, are struggling more with that than others. Now you deal with the business side of it, the ups and downs in the business. Now you're dealing with outside life as well. And it's just a whole.
And then throw social media on top of it and everybody's opinion, right?
Yeah. opinions. I mean, the whole 9 yards. It's just, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for guys, and people don't understand that. And you get a lot of pressure from other ends. There's a lot of stress involved, physically and mentally, and to mix those two is very difficult. And a lot of guys, at the same time, they're not getting the calories in that they should probably be getting in. It takes 1,200 calories to activate your brain every day for your brain to function correctly. Sometimes I don't get 1,200 calories in a day.
But think about that. You're nutrient deficient. You're stressed out with life on top of the pressures of the racetrack. And let's just talk about men in general, I think are more inward, or, that's how society has kind of created the space to be. So it is a lot. And I think a lot of people back there are holding that in. And I feel like, this is great what we're doing, bringing light. It's not all about win pictures and that excitement that we all love so much, but we have to love our people too. Just like the horses, we have to love the people. If we don't have the jockeys or the horses, we don't have the sport, right?
Right.
And I think in the old days, a lot of these riders fell to alcoholism, drugs, because it was maybe what they wanted or saw with their life, but it was their only escape from the harsh reality they were dealing with, because nobody talked about it back then, about the real struggle of what you all go through. So I think it's creating a space and opportunities and resources, for all of you, not just at Naira, across the board. So
Absolutely.
what do you think coming, moving forward with the times? Do you want to see for the racing community, jockey rooms, everywhere, not just where you're at, for the riders now and the riders coming up?
I really want to see guys sticking together. I think that's a huge thing, sticking together. And I think guys, instead of, being so negative and nasty sometimes, that maybe to pick somebody up when they're down, or pick somebody up when they made a mistake, and not so much yell at them, but explain things, help people, be kind to the way you address things. You don't know what people are going through, and same with the gamblers, everybody makes mistakes. We have to make split decisions out there, and they might not be always the right decision, but at that time, we just have to make it. And I think it's just in the world as well. It's just the world is so negative at the moment, and people need to come together and find the kindness again, and the support. And I think everybody's under a lot of pressure as well. Everybody's being watched, everybody's being judged. I feel like a lot of people think they're being judged, and they expect something, right? I mean, you see on Instagram, people are trying to show off how cool they are, how pretty they are, how great they are, and trying to get so many followers, and trying to prove to people, who they are and how great they are. And, that's all fine and dandy, but, I just think, there's too much negativity, it's something that everybody needs to work on. And
well, let's be very clear in letting the viewers know that the highlights, the Instagram, the Facebook, it's a pure highlight reel. We only, we as humans, we share what we want to share. So it's so easy to compare and feel not good enough when all you see is everybody living their best life, not reality. I mean, I think that's something to be very mindful of, is you're not seeing people's lives. You're seeing what they want to show you to make themselves feel better, or look good, like you said. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at, it's not real life. It's just what people want you to see. So I try not to get too serious.
That's, everybody says, oh, it must be so great to be a jockey. You're winning races and you're doing so great and you're making great money, and, you're all exposed, and, that's great. No, but you don't see the behind the scenes, of what we go through on a day in, day out. I go home sometimes and I eat a can of tuna fish. I have to reduce really hard sometimes in the hot box, and sit in the hot
tall,
box.
right? How tall are you, Trevor? You're a taller rider.
Yeah, 5'9".
Wow. Holy smokes. That's really tall for a rider. So do you struggle, or how do you manage your weight? I mean, throughout your career, is that something you natural lightweight or?
Well, yeah, I'm very disciplined, and it's hard work. I mean, it's nothing that's easy. And like I said, sometimes it's come home and eat a can of tuna fish and drink a glass of water, and that's about it, and maybe before I ride, I might have 2 eggs or something like that. And maybe in the morning, I might be able to have a cup of tea. But, you got to be super, super disciplined. And, it's not easy. It's not for everybody. And you got to be strong. But, that's just, I know that just comes with the job. And I'm willing to make that sacrifice for my family and to do what I like to do,
And then you have to have the strength. Then you have to have the strength to control a 1,200-pound animal too. And people don't understand. Like, you might not be the strongest that day because you didn't eat correctly.
Right, and that's the thing is preparation. So you really got to be disciplined, because if not, you're gonna have to pay the price. Right, you're gonna be out there and you're not gonna be at your best. And so that's why you got to kind of, almost have your body adapt to that diet. Where some guys, they abuse it, and or they don't know how to handle it. They don't have that education, or they don't have that discipline of how to handle that diet. And, they do a lot more reducing before the races, or they overdo it, and, that's why you see some guys.
That's scary to see.
Yeah. And, then some guys are trying to push, trying to lose the weight. And they end up making themselves a lot worse by getting so weak, putting themselves at a dangerous situation, and others sometimes at a dangerous situation.
Sean Nolan says Trevor is a sorry, Sean, with comments are rolling and he's got fans here. Sean says Trevor is a fabulous rider, but an even better person and racing ambassador. We're very lucky to have him and will be a fabulous advocate for his fellow jockeys. We love Sean. And then we've got Terry. He says Trevor is one of my favorite jockeys. Love to have him come and ride at Golden Gates.
Thanks.
Terry wants everyone to come ride at Golden Gates. One day we're going to make a field trip and go visit Terry. Willie Martinez says, glad to see Trevor back in action. Best of luck.
Thanks, Willie. You're doing great, man.
So, on that note, Sean, I'm interjecting for a second while it's on my brain. I just saw an article today about Alex's brain being sent out for testing for traumatic injuries from the sport, basically. The same type of injury. What was the abbreviation, Sean?
CTE. CTE, yes. The same as they've been doing football players.
Yeah. So I thought that was actually really interesting and cool to see it being, investigated or looked into. What are your thoughts on that? The comparison of now they have a jockey's brain that they're going to dissect and see. Is it comparable to the head trauma that NFL players take?
I think that's a great idea. We take hits ahead really hard, maybe just as hard as a football player. And it definitely needs to be addressed. I mean, I'm a guy that has 3 concussions as well. So I've been through that. Katie has a couple of herself. And look, I think it's a great idea. Big thank you to Alex's family for them to really give his brain away for science. And, maybe this is going to be a big step for us and kind of introduce something for the future for maybe even mental health with jockeys as well.
And maybe protection standards are going to change. I mean, I have literal goosebumps. I just read that not too long ago, and it was very bittersweet to see, but amazing to see the family saying, hey, we don't want to see somebody else go through this. So let's see if it's something we can really research and help. Incredible to see. We're definitely going to be following up with that. The comments are still coming. Terry, jockeys are the best athletes of all sports and should be compensated much more than they are, and weights should be increased. What are your thoughts on that? You're a tall guy. Do you think that weights should be raised?
The thing with the weights being raised, it's definitely going to, help some guys. But at the same time, sometimes, you get guys that, now the weights have been raised. So there's going to be guys that didn't think they could do it before. Now they think they can maybe do it now. So there's always going to be somebody struggling, because there's always going to be somebody saying, oh, well, Now they moved the weights. Instead of being the maximum weight of 125, the maximum weight is 130. So, I'm 140. I got to lose 15 pounds now instead of 25 pounds or 20 pounds. And I always think somebody's going to be struggling. Um, I do think that weight isn't a huge deal. I mean, look at the horses overseas and stuff like that. They carry much more weight than we do.
But that's a great point you made. I never thought of it like that. It kind of keeps you all in a very specific container and makes it not a job everybody can do. When you raise
Right.
the spectrum, you might have, I never thought about it like that. That's actually a great point.
And that's the only thing. I'm not. It's not that I'm not against weights going up. It's just I always have that in the back of my mind that, well, if the weights go up, then somebody's always going to be trying to struggle to, and now I can maybe get my weight back down, or I can get to 120. I didn't know I didn't think I could get to 115 or 110, but I could get to 120 maybe, and I just feel like there's always going to be somebody struggling. And who knows, maybe we can find a happy medium somewhere, which I would like. But it's definitely something like I said, in Europe, they have the weights a little bit heavier, and it doesn't seem to affect them as much. So yeah, maybe it's something we can kind of look into.
Blair Monroe says, "Hi, Trevor. What struggles did you see your dad go through that you learned from?"
Yeah, look, my dad was he was the guy that reduced very hard, dieted really well, but at the same time, he had to do, he had the flip, which was a struggle watching him grow up and watching him do that. It was kind of a trauma experience, not knowing at a young age what he was kind of doing. And, I think the first time I found out, I cried as a little kid. And, it's hard. Mentally, it's hard. And I always stayed away from that. And I always said to my dad, if I, have to flip or throw up, I'm not gonna ride anymore. I watched you go through that, and I wouldn't want to do that. And my dad was very good about it, where he didn't abuse it as well. But to me, I just, my health. I'm a kind of a health freak, I've turned into a health freak because I've learned how much, how much energy you can get from food and how powerful food is. And I don't think people realize how much power and strength food has with healing and energy, and over the years, I've kind of had to educate myself, and luckily I had my dad to educate me as well. But I've definitely educated myself on different herbs or different vegetables of what I have to eat, when I have to eat them, maybe different teas as well for certain things. And
Love that.
herbal medicines I've gotten into to take because, I just put my body through so much stress, and, I get really sore and so much, my body gets really inflamed. So that's how I kind of found the ice baths, was to do that for recovery. And now I kind of have learned recovery as well with herbs and stuff like that and different teas.
Power of the plant. I'm a huge power of the plant lady. I love herbs, teas, all things. So that's music to my ears. Yes, more holistic things first. I'm not saying medicine doesn't always work. Sometimes we need it, but there's a lot of power in food and plants. Absolutely. We have Ryan with a question. Trevor, do you have a horse or two upcoming that you are looking forward to riding?
Yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to ride Slip Mahoney in the Wood Memorial.
I would say that's exciting. And then we have JW. What do you think about jockeys who gear down or don't try all the way to the finish line?
Jockeys who gear down, I mean, if they're in front by a far ways and they're gearing down, that's great. I think it's a great idea. There's no reason to keep encouraging a horse to win by 15 or 20 instead of, they only win by 5 or 8. Guys who don't try all the way to the finish line, I think that's very slim. You guys try most of the way. Sometimes they might lighten up on a horse, whether they feel they're maybe not moving the greatest or getting tired, exhausted. I think for more of that is guys not trying, are more trying to protect the animal as well. They're not trying to, not try to win or try to finish second or third. Sometimes you have to look out for the animal, but at the same time, you're doing your best to try and get to the wire as well.
Another huge misconception, and that comes with social media, is exactly what you just said. 99.9% of the time, these guys are riding the horse or doing what they need to do to protect themselves. I don't know what's going on tonight, Trevor. We never have internet issues. Sean and I are playing Russian roulette with who gets kicked off. Hold on, he's back. Hold on, let me put him back here. Okay. I told him, I said, I don't know what's happening. We never have such issues. I promise we're professionals at this, but tonight it's just,
Yeah. Bad connection everywhere, I guess.
But I was saying, I've seen a lot of things on Twitter. I've seen a lot of riders getting attacked for rides, not riding to the wire. And I think exactly what you just said. You all don't know what they're sitting on. You don't know what they're feeling. You just know what you see, and you're perceiving it as they're not right. They're doing that for, a gambling reason or whatever. I think that's a very slim chance that that's the actual case. I'm not going to say there's not rotten apples, because that's everywhere, right? That's everywhere. It's anything we do. But yeah, you guys got to lighten up a little bit on that, because I see it all the time. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Accusing riders of cheating, and then they don't know. Maybe they have to they have to stop. They don't know what they feel. Sean, what were you saying?
Well, it's also like everything else. If I feel like a jockey's like that, I'm not going to put my money on that jockey. It's up to the bettor to do that. It's not, hey, that's a jockey's. If the jockey doesn't want to do that and they're doing something else, that's their problem. They can do what they want. I can put my money on who I want to put my money on. That's how I look at it too. And if I put my money on Trevor don't owe me anything. Trevor's out there earning a living himself. You know what I mean? You're putting money on your dinner plate, not mine. So it's two different things. And that's what I don't get, why bettors relate to.
Yeah, that's the thing too. You guys don't understand is some guys, they're riding, we're trying to get second and third money. When the purse is a decent sized purse, second and third money, we're making more money, We're making more money to run third and second, and it's like, it's frustrating for guys to just think that, we're cheating or holding horses or stuff like that. It's not 1960 anymore. If the purses aren't $10,000 and you only make, eight, or whatever they were, $5,000 or whatever. It's like, it's not like, everybody's fixing to make a bet and all that. There's more money.
It would take a lot of power to control the entire field of riders in one race to set something up. I would just say you might have some that might be buddies. I don't know, but I guarantee you're not going to get everybody to sway your way.
Yeah, exactly.
But not only that, everybody finds out about everything now, so it's very hard to do that kind of stuff and get away with it.
Blair says, "What was the conversation between you and Dylan about the GQ?"
It wasn't too bad. Thought that he kind of came out and overdid it a little bit with his left-handed encouragement. So wasn't too bad. We
didn't feel bad when you have to make a family objection.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's something I don't want to do at all. That's the last guy I want to claim foul on, and really get disqualified or get a suspension and. But, that just goes out to, we're out there doing our jobs, and I'm doing the best that I can for my connections. And we're all out there to make money for our families. And, things happen sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's pretty incredible. You have such a family of racing. Was that beneficial to you to have them to lean on when, and when you go through your struggles with the business or just in general, you at least have family around you that gets it. A lot of people don't have that. You think it's a little, is the pressure more, or does it kind of more understanding?
No, it's more understanding. And, you can definitely, it's great that I can come home to my wife and explain what happened and tell her about my bad day. And she can kind of look at the positive side of it, where you're not maybe so focused as the positive side, more you're focused on the negative side, and kind of get their opinion on it. And one thing that was always hard for me is I would always bring it home. If I had a bad day or had a bad experience, I'd bring it home and kind of be sappy all night, or not in a bad mood, but, be in a kind of mopey mood, or, and now I've kind of learned that I can't bring it home, and I should be able to leave it at work and come home and enjoy my family, and um, be around a happy place. I got a happy wife, beautiful wife, and a happy daughter, beautiful daughter, and
Amazing. I got to meet her on here and I love her so much. She's incredible. So happy
yeah,
International Women's Day to all the wonderful women in your life and household right now.
that's right.
Yeah, she's and also what you all went through, what she pushed for with the rule change, for all the backlash she took as a woman in the sport, trying to make that change to be able to do what she loves with you. I already told her she's a badass. She deserves all the hand claps for sure. Art has a compliment. He says, I really appreciate the hard work and dedication of the jockeys. Stay positive and try to focus on the positive feedback from the fans.
Thanks, Art.
Yeah.
Sean, what else you got?
Well, I got a couple things. One, I'll ask you because Tyler tells me. Tyler will put it on social media, so I'll use his name. But Tyler Connor thinks about all the time about quitting. If he could get a job that paid the same amount of money, he would quit tomorrow. Do you kind of have those thoughts too?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you go home and you think, man, it's not worth it, And man, if I just had the same job that, maybe that I could make the same amount of money, maybe I could do something else and not be so, not be so
Stressed
and, have to go through what we go through, right? Sometimes you question, hey, is it worth it? Is it worth the discipline? Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the headache? Is it worth that pulling the weight and, the hardness on our body, being sore every day? And, you kind of like, man, and it's, to me, it was like, it wasn't fun anymore. I didn't have that same passion, and I had to kind of find that passion again and kind of say to myself, hey, this is when I was 15, I couldn't wait to do this, that's all I wanted to do. And I need to find that again. And I kind of found that over the winter time where I got that itch again, where I didn't think, and after this fall, it was like, man, I got a kid. I got a kid now, and I got a wife, and I got to support them. And, I just broke my pelvis and I broke my collarbone, and, it scared the shit out of me, and it scared the shit out of my family. And like, man, am I gonna, there's been plenty of guys that have been paralyzed or killed, and, can I go back? Am I gonna be able to support my family? What if something happens, and, that kind of goes through your mind. And I went through my mind this winter of like, trying to find myself again and trying to find that 15-year-old kid of loving the sport and wanting to be a jockey and would do whatever it took to ride a horse. And, it was, for me, it was like, I didn't care any second of the day. I wanted to be at the racetrack. And, early on in the wintertime, it was me just didn't want anything to do with the racetrack. I didn't even want to watch a race, and it took me some time, and I had a lot of support through family and really good friends that.
Sounds like you're very self-aware too, which is a quality, that a lot of people don't have. To hear you acknowledge, hey, I saw myself not loving what I usually loved and desired to do. A lot of to recognize that, to say something's got to change here. That's in itself not easy.
Well, that's, and my wife told me you have to find yourself, and if it's not riding, then that's fine. I'll support you either way. And, and I did. I had to find myself again, and I had to find that confidence. And I kind of had to say, okay, I got to be brave enough to go back out there. I can't, now that I fell and I went through all this trauma, now I have to go back. I don't have a choice. I have to go back. I have to get back up on that horse again for my own will. And I think my first race, I was just so relaxed. It was great. It was like such a great feeling. I felt like a kid again. I felt like, I couldn't wait to go ride. And, it was just, I was so light. And to win that first one back, it was like, that was amazing, and at the same time, I think God was testing me too, because now he put me at a dangerous situation. And how did I feel after? Well, I felt fine. I wasn't scared, I wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm not going to go back out there now. Maybe God was saying, hey, not to do this or something like that.
Hey, and sometimes God will, what is it when you're on the path and doing what you want to do most? Sometimes God will see how bad you really want to be on that path, or the devil, they say, will start testing you the hardest. So all those intrusive thoughts about, F this place, I just can't take it anymore. That could have very well just been a part of your test and journey to see, are you willing to push through to see how good you really can be?
And that's the thing. It was like, there's been many moments of F that, I don't want to do this anymore. F that, I don't want to deal with this. And, even like getting back into it, was like, man, I've enjoyed eating 3 meals a day. And, it's like, and like, now I got to diet again. And it was like so many times that I wanted to give up, but giving up, it was just too easy. Right.
That's right.
It was just way too easy, and I had to find myself again. And I think stem cells, and I really do believe stem cells changed my attitude. And when I would go to the gym, I had so much energy. I had that fresh energy. I was fresh, and now I'm getting all this energy. And I would work out for 2 hours in the gym, and I would come home, and I just wouldn't be able to sit still. And I felt like I could work out all day long.
Man, maybe I need some stem cells.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what stem cells do. And, it just, for me, it was just such a big obstacle. And to come back and get that first win and it be a little traumatic as well, with the inquiry and things like that. It was special. It was
part
special.
of your path, Trevor, is absolutely to advocate, speak, and help, because not everybody in your position will speak, or will be honest, and you speaking out right now, I guarantee you somebody is going to watch this video and they're going to appreciate that. And somebody who maybe is inspiring to do what you're doing, to say, hey, there's somebody that can relate to what I'm feeling or going through. I think that's absolutely part of your journey, because we need more of that in each room. We need real life, somebody who's going to say, I've been through it. I'm here. I can help you, show you how to do things the right way. Right. We have 2 comments coming in. John Wilbanks, Trevor McCarthy is my favorite rider of any track. Always gives me my money worth on every mount he rides.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
See, he absolutely does. But see that comment right there. You can't associate your money with that's where we're going wrong.
We're glad you've made money on Trevor, but that's not what it doesn't determine his value.
Yeah, they don't relate. That's where we're having this. That's where betting's a bad thing.
So Grandma Horse Racing says injuries are the quickest way to being down. I don't think it's about getting back in the saddle, no pun intended, but you have to get your mind and body right first. Absolutely. We have a random question from our buddy John DeSilva. Who is the best bowler in the family?
I would have to say Robbie Davis. Nobody beat the old man.
Are you at least second?
No, Dylan's a good bowler.
Dylan's coming back to take you out at the bowling game. Yeah. Terry, he's back, and he says, amazing podcast with a wonderful guest. So honest. I love the podcast every time I watch. We are getting close to an hour, Trevor, but I do want to brief on, we do have a special show and segment we're working on monthly, just straight about mental health. I know Sean has talked to you probably a little bit about that. He said you were willing to come on and be a part of it. So I do want to let the fans know. We will definitely have you on. We're doing it monthly now, and we plan on keep doing it. So I'm excited to have you join the roundtable talk and talk to peers, right? Other riders, and that you can spread some knowledge and your story with. So you'll definitely be back soon with us with that. And Sean says, Trevor, Katie, Eddie, Dylan, and Jackie, best family in racing.
Thanks, Sean.
Sean, you got anything else to wrap it up?
Yeah, well, I got 2 things. One, it kind of makes.
I keep cutting you off all night. I forgot to ask you questions.
it kind of makes me mad, so I'm sure it makes you mad, Trevor. And if we had the money here at Horse Racing Today, we would do it. Every workplace, they have programs. There's tons of people making money off you, whether it's the track, it's the ADWs, it's a bunch of people making money off you. Why can't they use some of that money and support you guys?
Yeah, I think that's something that we're going to have to address, whether it's working with the Jockeys Guild to have something go or work with the racetracks. I have to say, the racetracks do support the New York or the racing chaplaincy. I know that's helped me out a bunch, talking to the chaplaincy and, really kind of getting God's perspective on things and just being at peace with God and, just really just being able to talk to somebody is important. So one of those things are really good that those guys are always there. They might not be there every day in the jocks room at every track, but I know here at Naira, they're here about once a week. And they're always available, to call or go see. But they do come in to the jocks room. I know at Laurel, I think it's every day or maybe it's every week. They do a prayer time before the races. And same here at Naira, and I think at other tracks as well.
And I think that when we wait and see the results that, science brings from Alex's family, I mean, I'm really interested to see what kind of change and help that might be the kicker we need, to really make a change and impact for you all as a whole.
Absolutely.
So the last thing I'll say, too, is I've said this before. Fortunately, I haven't had to deal with any mental health issues. Now, one issue I have had, I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not social like that. So this show and talking to people like Trevor have helped that. So like I've always said, and Trevor knows, Katie knows, they've both been great to me. I don't just ask Trevor, hey, come on here for an interview. I say, hey, Trevor, come on an interview, but hey, how are you doing? And try to have a conversation too. And I think that's important for everybody. You send Trevor a message and say, good win, check on Trevor too. Now, he may be too busy sometimes. You can't reply to everybody, but I think checking on them and trying to have an actual relationship. And yes, exactly. I think that's really important and will go a far way too. Even if they don't respond, they're going to see the messages, and I'm sure the positive messages help as far as they can.
Help break up some of the banter that you get from the fake accounts, right? The fake bad betters. So
absolutely.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Grandma Horse Racing gives us one more comment. Wonderful honesty, great guest. More guys like him open the door for healing for others. I don't want to downplay anything anyone is going through. And she's absolutely right. Neither do we. Speaking out's important. We're here. We put it on social media. You can always reach out. We're open to messages. You're not alone. I have struggled. I'm active in therapy. I'm an active mental health advocate. I will talk to anybody about anything. So we're not, we can't do it all, but we can say we're here. We're here to help. We're here to listen, and we care. So, and that goes out to you, Trevor, your family, and all of our guests on the show as well. So I look forward to having you back on the special. Sean, you'll have to set that up. And yeah, that's all I got for the night. Good luck. You're back. You started out strong. We'll be watching for sure and cheering you guys on. And we can't wait to talk again.
Thank you, guys. And I just want to say before the show ends, anybody going through anything, please reach out to me if you need somebody to talk to, other riders, and just for everybody out there, even fellow riders and just people in general, just be kind to one another, it doesn't hurt to say kind things to people. It hurts to say bad things to people. And, I think we just kind of, as a world and a community, we need to come together and support one another. And especially through a tough time. We've been through a tough time over the last 5 years, going through COVID and all these crises that we've faced over the last 5 years in our country. And, I think we, I would say like back in 9/11, I remember how strong our country came together and we supported everyone and we were so strong. And I feel like the country's missing that, and we all need to get back to that.
I think social media has, as much as it's connected us, it's divided us. We definitely need more unity, less opinions. we're all humans. Can we just be kind to each other? I totally agree. Trevor, you spoke to my heart tonight. I've teared up a couple times just because I do take this so seriously. So I really, really appreciate the conversation and the honesty. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, not just from horse racing today. It means a lot to me. So I appreciate it. And what a pleasure. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Well, thank you. And like I said, it needs to be addressed. We lost one too many and now two too many. And, it's just a lot of changes need to be made.
Right. I mean, we don't speak on it. We haven't spoke on it enough, but we speak on all the highs, and we need to speak on the reality of what you all go through. You all are humans. I think a lot of people think you just go out for that 2 minutes, you get paid a boatload of money, you come back, you think you're everything, and you go, that's such not the case. Right.
Absolutely.
So we'll leave out with one comment from Hillary. Kindness and understanding toward one another can go a long way. Absolutely. And just checking on your neighbors, checking on your friends. How are you doing today? Are you okay? If you're not okay, that's okay. That type of thing. All right, guys, that wraps up Wednesday night. Trevor, we will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Great night.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thanks, Trevor.
Well, he was awesome. What a great interview. I felt myself get emotional with some of those things he was saying, because it's just the harsh reality that doesn't get spoke on enough unless you're in it, really in it, unless you live it. I do. I know Jamie does. Many, many more people, they know. But the people who bet on the sport, who love just the racing, they need to understand what some of these people go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad Trevor came on and was willing to talk about it, and he was clear that, hey, I went through this, I want to talk about it. So
I love that. I can't wait to have him more. I can't wait to have him on the mental health show, because I definitely have some more in depth. We'll go a little deeper with some of the.
And he comes from a racing family, but that doesn't mean it's any easier, because Katie's talked about it, Trevor's talked about it now. Katie's sister's going to come on the mental health show at the end of the month, Jockey Davis. So just because you're in the family and you do the same, it doesn't make it any easier.
Hey, an individual.
Sometimes and sometimes maybe it makes it harder, because you can't be the one that says, you know what, this isn't for me. They probably feel that pressure that they got to do it.
Right.
So it could be harder. It could work the other way.
Yeah. So far, I've met Katie. I've met Trevor now. I have not met Dylan. And I have not met. I'm missing give it to me. There's another
Robbie?
name. I haven't met Robbie.
Robbie's Katie's dad. Katie and Jackie's dad.
And I haven't met Jockey. Yes, I haven't met Jockey. So I've only Katie and Trevor, and they've just been a pure delight. So I can't wait to meet everybody else. Grandma Horse Racing says, thank you, HRT team. Keep sending love and support to the industry. Anthony said, another excellent job, Sean and Julie. This channel is the best thing I found in racing circles in a long time. Oh, we love that.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
And John De Silva says, race trackers will because always be there. Will be all. He's tied my tongue. Okay, race trackers will always be there for each other. Just need to reach out. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So what do we got coming up next week?
So next week, and I haven't announced this on social media, I will. Monday, Kendrick Carmouche, another one who just came back from injury last Friday. He's coming back to Horse Center on Monday, and we all know how great Kendrick is, so that'll be another fantastic show. Tuesday, we have John Robb's assistant, Jessica Lindsay. And then Wednesday, speaking of weight, Jason Hyas. He's been NYRA. He's been at Parks. He was an exercise rider for a trainer for a long time, weighed like 140 pounds. He said, I want to be a jockey. And he got himself down to 110, 115, and he's a jockey.
Looks like a whole new.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Wow. Yeah.
And he's out there winning too. He's traveling all over with Parks, and I think sometimes he goes to Laurel. He's in all the NYRA, and he's winning pretty good too. So
yeah, well, it's going to be another fun week. I will be back. Hopefully, I make it all week and don't signal Rich in. Sometimes I just go on hiatuses because I get consumed with my barn overload, but it's fine. That's why I have the team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow, Rich. Well, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be tomorrow at 11:30, 12 o'clock. One of them, what they've been, they will be back. I believe they got Gulfstream again.
They'll be on.
I'm not sure. I thought I heard Rich say it's Terry tomorrow, so maybe it's Terry and Charles tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. And then you got pickswiththeprofessor.com. All the college basketball tournaments are starting. The actual tournament starts next week. So if you're betting into that, that's a good channel to check out too. And usually, you know,
actually, because I want to play this year.
Yeah, I mean, some great games already yesterday and today. So
we have a lot of really exciting things coming up that we haven't announced. A lot of really good shows, a lot of really good content. So please stay tuned. Make sure you're following us on all socials: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Share, like, comment, all the things we love. So, and we always comment back. We try to get back to everybody as fast as we can. So I think that takes us wire to wire, and we will see everybody next week. Or you got something else?
I thought you were throwing it back to me. So one thing that happened cool today, we were doing those mean tweet series, and Chelsea Moisey, trainer Chelsea Moisey, who's been on the show, she has a horse named Mean Tweets, and she sent me some pictures that I put on social media. Yeah, that's always cool too when jockeys and trainers reach out and say, "Hey, look, I got this," and you know, we get to talk about that. So that was cool that there was a horse.
And I loved Andy's tweet today about the pandas. I thought pandas were smart. Me too, friend. Me too.
Yeah, they are. They are. You know, I had to look it up. I was like, wait, and yes, they are.
They are. That's so funny. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for the week. And I will see you guys back here with Sean next Monday. And yeah, that takes us wire to wire officially. I will see everybody else. And no, wait.
The winner circle.
No, I will see everybody else. I'm losing it. It's the end of the week. It's past my bedtime, guys. Yeah, I'll see everybody else in the winner circle. Okay.
There you go.
All right. And I didn't have my thing ready, so we're just going to sit here. We'll read one more comment to make it not awkward. Let's see. John said he lost 45 pounds to be a jock, and he seems to have done it the right way because he looks healthy, not sickly. We love that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He also said he saw Kendrick yesterday, and he is awesome and as good as ever. Yes. He was having a crawfish boil at his house today. I was really jealous. He's living his best life. He's feeling good. Okay. All right. That officially takes us wire to wire. Now I will see you and everybody else in the
winner circle.
Yeah.